All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy middle of the week. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. I'm your host and pilot, Uncle B. I know in the Discord I said we were going to fly in the Embraer 110 and do this flight from Buffalo to Plattsburgh, but I decided to do something a little bit different today. We're gonna do a little bit of general aviation with the Beechcraft Bonanza. We'll show it off. We've flown it before, but it's just been a while. So yeah, we're gonna do that instead. Pretty much a straightforward flight. We're gonna start up and taxi over to runway 23. We're gonna come out over here just a little bit over the water, and then we're going to turn left. We're going to intercept this VOR DME here in Rochester, lone fixed point right there, and then it's a straight shot all the way to our point here, turn in, line up for our arrival there into Plattsburgh. Says about an hour and a half or so for the flight. Probably get there a little bit quicker, but we're not in a rush. You know, we can slow down a little bit if we want, or we can take our time. We're going to do the startup and all that and taxi out just so that we get as much time out of the stream today as possible. Friday, I'll be back in the DC-6. We're going to shoot for a flight from San Francisco to LAX in the DC-6. So that should be good. So yeah. Looking forward to that. And then, yeah, that's about it. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Yeah. I'm going to sit here and sip my coffee. If you have any questions, you want to chat before we get started, you're more than welcome to. But that's the flight for today. Nothing super fancy. Sorry, I had to blow my nose this morning. A little chilly last night. It's been a little bit cooler than it was before. We've had rain and all that. Just rain, not nothing more than rain. Not all that, just a little bit of rain here and there. Just enough to wet the whistle. I don't know why these name tag things disappear. I never quite understand why the sim does that, where you have, like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But anyway, today's route. There, and I will show you. I have verified, but I will give you ocular proof. Good morning, Mick. There is the server. There's the ocular proof. Southeast Asia. This is the server. There you go. You can see it for yourself, so the sim doesn't make me look like a jackass. Even though it tries to sometimes, it seems. And, yeah. From here, so we're only going to go up to about 9,000 feet, and we got to from from Dinas to Cap New. Wait, where's okay? So Cap New. So to this point, we got to drop about 6,000 feet to be ready to line up for our ILS approach. So it won't be too busy, but we'll just take a nice leisurely drop from across 6,000 feet. It's only like 50 something nautical miles distance, so we're gonna eat up that distance very quickly. Let me look at okay. Yeah, from once we start our descent, it's only like 55 nautical miles. Yeah. And we got to get down to about 2,200 feet. So not super busy, but it'll be interesting. See how we get on with it. We haven't flown this in a while, so I just figured it'd be something fun to do. We may change the weather right now. This is on live weather. We'll see how it looks once we spawn in here at in Buffalo. But we'll see how it looks. We'll change it if necessary. Anyway, what else? Yeah, Friday, DC6. We'll just do the one trip down to LAX, and then that should be a nice little flight. Shouldn't take too long to do. And then, yeah, we'll be back in the Yunkers on Monday, continuing our journey. And then Wednesday, we'll do something else a week from today. Then Friday, we'll try to do another DC6 flight. I'll try to figure out some place to do that with, or maybe we'll do it on So we'll see how it goes, and then go from there. I don't expect that the physical therapy is going to get too insane. The plan, it's just simple movements, so it's nothing strenuous. It's not weightlifting or anything crazy like that. So I feel confident I can at least fly 3 days a week instead of the one that I was, or so that I was, sticking with for now. All right. Now about 7 more minutes, we'll get started up here. Give people time to come in, say hello. I was thinking about doing story time today, but I thought, nah. It would be a lost story. It wouldn't what am I trying to say? It wouldn't make any difference. It wouldn't register. There we go. It wouldn't register the story, what I'm trying to say. So, like, yeah, no, can't be bothered. Let's see if anybody is. A few people in the area. It's usually a pretty quiet server, Southeast Asia, especially on this time of day. See, now the name stuff is back. I don't know why the sim does that. Doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see. Marketplace update tomorrow. No idea if I don't expect that the PMDG 737s are coming tomorrow. I think it's going to be the 27th, unless I'd have to look on the PMDG website to see if they've on the forums, I should say, if there's a delay to the release of the 737s on the Xbox. I think they said there's two that they're trying to push, and one of them is the 737-8 or the 800 model. That is the one that most airlines still fly. So yeah, there's still that. But yeah, it seems like we've gone back to the I call it the thin Thursdays. We're not getting there was a couple Thursdays where we were kind of getting a lot of good stuff, and but now it's kind of regressed back to crap, for lack of a better term. So, and they're pushing a lot of the Captain Sim stuff, or Captain Scam as they call them, where you get a plane for $20, and then if you want liveries, real world liveries, you got to pay another $5 for the liveries. So, yeah. Wow. Yeah. That one puzzles me quite a bit. Why that's even allowed. So, anyways, so yeah, hopefully we'll start seeing more stuff. But I do believe though, other than a few other planes maybe, but I feel fairly confident that I am happy with what I have. With the exception of maybe a few fighter jets, that would be nice to be able to fly. I think we can maybe start to do a do some flights through the Mach loop whenever we get a fighter jet. Just whether it's a trainer or an actual fighter jet, that we can take it through the Mach loop, have some fun there, and it doesn't have to be a point to point flight. We can just go and act foolish over in the Mach loop, stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, other than that, I just don't see much else that I feel like I need in the sim or want. I mean, it'd be nice to have some other jetliner choices, but part of it too is trying to do, it is kind of boring, I guess, to a degree of that. We just push the autopilot and the plane flies itself for X amount of distance. I mean, that's what we're going to do today, but it's even, so I don't know. We'll see. But I know PMDG is working on a proper 777, I think. They're working on that, but that's going to take some time for them to develop that. And it probably won't be another, at least a year, I think, before that's ready for release. They're pretty in depth. Their PMDG is. So, all right, let's go ahead and spawn in here and get the aircraft started up, and we can get out of here. see what the weather looks like. We'll change that, and then watch. As soon as I spawn in, that's when Joseph's going to pop in and say hello. Here it comes any minute now. Ooh, actually, it looks not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that. We don't have to change anything. Excellent. All right. Although it's... Oh, trusty salute. Oop. Ah. All right, let's make sure all of our lights are on. All right, now we can leave that off. All right, 9,000 feet. All right, set the altimeter. The flight director on. Speed on. Go. Some feet per minute. All right. I think we're just about all set. Let's get a flaps down. Takeoff. Contact ground. All right, there we go. All right. I was expecting cloudy weather. Should have more than enough fuel on board. Somebody is coming. No, World Update 13, I think, is supposed to be coming soon. I think either this month or next month. I have to look again, but Oceania, I think, is the area. You know what? Since we're not really pressed for time, you know what we could do? We could hop in a fighter jet, do a run through the Mach loop, quick, just for something fun to do. Going. Why does it seem like we're not going to the right? Like 3-2 is supposed to be over there, I think. I feel like I'm getting wrong directions. Well, you know what? We'll follow this and then let's see, what does this say? Yeah, see? Wait, what did I say was the runway? Oh, runway 2. Okay. Never mind. I thought we were getting wrong directions here. Never mind. You never know what the send sometimes. You might get bad directions. Double check the altimeter one more time. Ooh, there's the. Oh, now it got all cloudy. Look at that. Boy, that suddenly changed. Well, we're already there, so screw it. We're just gonna go with this. I'll say I didn't think it was sunny in Buffalo. All right, I think that's about it. Let me just do one other thing here real quick. Lights off. All right, let's go. Wow, look at that. Oop. Why is it? Boy, this thing just wanted to take off right away. Wow. Oop. That didn't take long. Hmm. Now, I followed this departure before when I was testing the other. And see, the problem here that I'm noticing is that um, the line to get us to our initial point before we turn is not there. Like the magenta line is not there. So what we're gonna have to do. Once we get out of the water, we're gonna. Let's see if it turns on its own. If not, we're gonna have to tell it to turn. Or go to ROC. Now see, it's not. Well, you know what? I wonder if it's because I'm not. What's the magenta? Yes. I think we can go ahead and turn. Alright, yeah, let's do that. And there we go. Alright, now we're. Oh boy. I think we're icing up here. And I don't think this thing has anti-ice. Crop has a de-ice, but I don't think this has a defroster. I'm seeing ice start to develop here. Wow! Buffalo's still getting... Yeah, see, none of this stuff. I might end up. Oh boy, yeah, boy, this is not safe. Yep, I'm losing speed. There's a heck of a crosswind, too. Morning paradox. Water entry, anti-ice engine. Do that. some warm air in here, but I don't see. I don't have icing on, but boy, this thing is icing up. The windshield is iced. You can see it on the side here. I think the plane is icing. Yeah, I'm losing speed. Look at that. We're near 9,000 feet, and this plane is just... Yeah, something's not gonna... Something's gonna fail here any minute now. I have a bad feeling. All lights are on. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're struggling now. I think, and we're nowhere near where we should be on the magenta line either, I don't think. We're crossing. We're not churning to get on the line. Unless there's this one heck of a crosswind. All right, now we're gaining speed back. Well, that run to 10 to 9,000 feet seemed to be a bit. We're way off. Yeah, there must be one heck of a crosswind. All right. It's starting to gain speed back, but it's just like it was icing up. See, they're saying it's only a 4-knot wind, or no, wait. A 47-knot wind. Oh, okay. So we are heading theoretically the correct direction, but it is a... yeah, we're... Whew. Yeah, 47-knot crosswind. Look at that. Wow. It must be that wind coming right off the lakes. Yeah. We're gonna try to stick with it, but boy, it is chilly up in Buffalo. Yeah, I think the winter weather is still existing in Buffalo. But it's weird, I don't have icing on. Right? So it's kind of weird that it still ices up anyway on the window. Well, we're above the clouds now, and we got the sun in our face, so kind of. I mean, we're well within the limits of the aircraft capabilities as far as the altitude. We're not like right at it or well above it, so. Yeah, that crosswind is, woo boy, that is a doozy. I think it's that wind right off the lakes there. Yeah, we're fine now. But yeah, that is. I thought for sure this thing was going to nose over, and that was going to be the end of that, and there would have been no recovering. Yeah, we're fine now. Ooh wee. All right. Well, there we are. Yeah. That's what I figured. That Lakes region in Buffalo, Rochester, that whole area just gets pounded every winter, much like where Sergeant Staff lives there in Michigan. You know, the winters can be really, really bad with the wind, that wind chill factor. Just, oh, forget it. Get a picture here real quick for our picture of the day. Yeah, I think that'll work. This is the 60th anniversary livery for the, 1947 to 2007 for the Beechcraft Baron. Or not the Bonanza, I'm sorry, not the Baron, Bonanza. This is I purchased a livery pack for the, for some of these planes just to give it a little bit more, you know, the color scheme being a bit better than what's on offer already in the sim. Yeah, look at that windshield all iced up. You can see it even from the outside. All the windows are iced up. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I don't know where the there's no like yeah, see, that's not that doesn't work. So even if I mean, I've got the hot air coming through, but it doesn't seem like it's, maybe I have to increase it like a lot to get it to defrost. All right. Heading the right direction. I would be talking to Cleveland. We're nowhere near Cleveland. Boy, that Cleveland, I would have been thinking that we would have been talking to New York Center or Boston Center. Not Cleveland. Cleveland's like way behind us. No, I don't think it does either. We're just going to have to keep an eye on things. But yeah, that air is definitely still cold where we're flying today. I didn't even think about it. I just thought, oh, we'll be fine. No, it's still, even though we're already into the, you know, generally we've had, starting to have spring weather, it's still a bit wonky up there, and the in-game ETC is jacked. I turned it. Are you flying with me? I don't see you on the, I don't see you, Paradox. I don't see your name on the, out there anywhere, and I have all that stuff turned on, so I don't. Yeah, a lot of people encourage me to not use the ATC, but I need it so that it keeps me kind of I'm tracking when I need to be doing certain things. Oh, okay, okay. When you said you turned it, I thought you were flying with me, and I was like, oh, no. I looked around, I didn't see you. Yeah, once we make this, I mean, we got time. I'm gonna hop in. I'm gonna hop in the fighter jet. We'll go over the Mach loop for a little bit, have some fun. Why not? Boy, this crosswind is phew, just insane. Unbelievable. Thank you all for coming in and hanging out. Yeah, we'll have a little bit of fun over in the Mach loop. Why not? Preview game of GOT, Got Friends, Astro One, MM Simulations. Yes, I do. Although I haven't listened to any in quite some time. I had like a list on my Spotify, but I never really like I subscribed to different podcasts. Like like there's one I think I follow that's like a mystery kind of podcast where they talk about like I don't know, I guess like murder mysteries, that sort of stuff, investigations, and stuff like that. But I never I subscribe to them with the intention of listening, and then I don't. It's like if I go onto Spotify, I listen to music, and that's it. So I do, but I don't. I always intend to make time for it, but I never do, to be honest. So yeah, it's all right. We're almost to our nav point there. Or that VOR DME, and then we should continue on. And I just put out. Oh, what platform is it on? Paradox. I think I saw you post something about it on Angry Horn, Angry's Discord. I guess he's your co-host. And I saw you post something about that you were looking for a co-host, but I didn't know what sort of. Okay, now the windshields are clearing up. I think that hot air entry kind of helped out. So maybe finally it's warm in the cabin. Okay. Yeah, I saw your description of it. You kind of gave a brief rundown of what what your podcast is all about. It does sound interesting, to be honest. Yeah. I was thinking about doing one when I took the radio production class. Both of my instructors, because I think he's still a local DJ, but he may have moved on because you know, he was doing DJing and also marketing, but when the pandemic hit, he lost the marketing stuff because a lot of companies stopped spending money on marketing, and then they, you know, a lot of them just went out of business. So, but they both encouraged me to do something like that, but I never really followed through with it. Oh, nice. Bit of a let's make sure we go on to the next leg here. We should. You know, I should probably switch to the other tank. Oop. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. Okay, wrong way. Woo! That almost got ugly. Both feature. Left to right. All right. And notice over here, if you look, so our fuel is a bit unbalanced. So I think I have to switch to the other tank for a little bit. Talk about more than just flight sim though, also truck. Yeah. Yeah, I saw your description. It does sound interesting. I'll have to take a look for it and take a listen. Um, yeah, see, I was thinking about doing one that was like car specific. Like we would go like very vintage, like an old Bugatti Grand Prix car, and then like a modern day car or something. Hello, Joseph. Um, kind of thing. That I was thinking about doing that. But yeah, it's like all, you know, I had all these ideas, but it's part of it is just sitting down and doing it, and yeah, it's very it sounds exciting, you know. At first, you're like, oh, I got all these, and then you start doing it, and then you're just kind of like, eh, you know. Part of it is just a matter of sticking to a schedule. Okay, there it changed on its own. We did kind of navigate towards the next waypoint, so we should have that. Yep. All right. Perfect. So it's picking up that track. All right. Excellent. Yeah. I was going to use Anchor as well. Yeah, I know the. Yeah, I saw that Spotify had bought them out and made them part of Spotify. Yeah, it's just like I said, I had all these great ideas, and then it was just, you know, I was like, well, yeah, I can do this, or, but then it's like trying to find, you know, like putting together. It's like when I was flying, like basically 7 days a week, trying to find interesting places to fly, interesting planes to fly. It was a lot of work, and then, you know, you don't feel the reward for all the work. You don't feel like your efforts are appreciated all that much. And so that's why I cut back to 4 days a week, and now I'm just going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday as much as possible for the foreseeable future. But yeah, it is tough. It's a tough thing to break into, because you want to. How are you going to generate content that is going to be something that people are going to want to listen to and come back to, on a regular basis? And that's the difficult part. You want that audience engagement. You want them to be able to listen, but part of it is what when I did the radio production class, when you break it up into blocks, it's easy. People will it'll keep their attention. Like when we had a, yeah, well, yeah, but when you're trying, you're hoping people show up and you have like a good engagement with the audience, right? It's kind of hard. Like, there's been times where I've flown and it's like nobody's in the chat and I feel like I'm talking to myself, and that is no fun at all. That sucks, quite honestly. It really, it's hard to maintain some form of motivation, right? And but I try to keep on with it, but if I get the sense that nobody's coming in to watch at all, and like I'm just not getting that engagement, then it's just kind of like, well, what am I doing here? So it does help when you have the engagement. The only drawback of that is when you have engagement that is like very negative, or people come in just to have a go, or I know Scruffy, if he's here, he you get those people that come in and they were like, oh, I'm gonna fly and watch me zoom past you, go outside. And no, that's not what this is about. If you want to zoom past, go flying past me in an F-14, for instance, go for it. But I'm not going to keep giving you the attention. Well, that's part of it. Like, people, he's developed his brand much like Scruffy has. They have their brand, that they have created, and enough people, word of mouth gets around, and people are like, oh, you should go check this person out. It's a lot of fun and all that. But it's difficult. Like, I know I'm never going to have the same amount of people watching like Two Tone does, right? And that's okay. Two Tone is, that's his thing. That's his, that's his brand. That's his gig. Between him and Gibbo, they've created something, right? And so it works. But I don't, it's very difficult to, try to, I don't want to say replicate it, but, have, something similar. But I don't, but that's his thing. I don't know that I'd want to have that many people either. Because when you start off streaming and you start getting noticed, you there's always going to be those people who are going to come in and make the demands. Like I saw a video of this guy. He created this Lego city, right? And he almost did away with the channel. He was very disappointed, and so he talked about that people. Part of it was the comments that people were leaving, telling him, like, he has like a part of it is like he has like a train yard, right, in his city. And everyone's like, why would you have that? You shouldn't have that, you idiot. And he's just like, what the heck, and he said, and part of it is with for creators, and I can, I can kind of empathize with it. You're creating something, and people come in and start making these demands instead of saying, "Hey, it's your city, it's your design. You do what you want to do. I'll do what I want to do," and all that. But there's always those people that just, have to impress upon. Oh, you should be doing it the way I want you to. No, I'm going to do it the way I want to. If you don't like it, you don't have to be here, right? Sorry, but that's the truth. You know, just like for quite a long time, people would tell that people that I know that are into train simming, oh, you have to do the horn codes exactly like I tell you to do them. No, I don't. There's no law that says I have to do that. You can tell me about it, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, well, and like he said, there's a difference between critical, having good criticism or just a kind of criticism that you can say, oh, I didn't think about this. I'll have to think, like, oh, that's a good point. I'll maybe I'll have to look into how I can implement that into my, my plans or whatever, right? Constructive criticism versus just blatant, just being mean in general, and so yeah, he said that's one of the things. He said, I'm just going to do what I want to do, and if people don't like it, they don't have to like it. I'm just going to design the things that I want to design, and that's it. But yeah, it's very difficult, and but people, but when you acknowledge them in a way that say, yeah, okay, I got you, but I'm gonna go on and do what I want to. I'm not gonna do the horn code thing. They get mad. They get so like this uppity and belligerent about it. Like, how dare you not do what I tell you to do? Well, okay, but it's my channel, it's my stream. If I want to not do the horn code thing because I'm trying to talk to people, then I'm not going to do the horn code thing, because then otherwise people are going to get tired of hearing the horn. Like once in a blue moon, it's okay, but like all the time, come on now. But yeah, there's people that cannot handle that the simple NO. They lose their minds over it. All right. Let's see. We are. Wait, it says. Oh, I thought it was. Maybe I just read the numbers wrong. Okay, maybe I looked at the wrong numbers. All right, we have 176 nautical miles to go. All right, so we still got plenty of time to go. We may not do the flight in the mock loop after all. This is going to take a little while to get there. So I think this was wildly underestimated. See, now we're doing better in the speed aspect. So I think we are okay. 36 knot crosswind out of the north. So yeah, but yeah, it's very difficult. Well, I know Paradox. I'm just saying that that's something I've noticed, is that these people come in and start making these demands of streamers, and it's just like, well, like I don't mind, if you have some like set of knowledge, right? So like the people who know about the horn codes, for instance, I use that as an example because it's one of those things that sticks out in my mind that I've seen, like recent, over the past few years, people coming in and making these demands. And I would tell people, even if it wasn't my stream, I'd say, well, it's great that you have this knowledge, right? Good for you. But it's not right of you to come in and make demands of other people. Why aren't you the one streaming it and talking about this and saying, okay, oh, I have to do the horns again, because I know eventually you're going to go like, okay, this kind of sucks because I'm talking, but I have to remember to do the horn codes, and after a while, people probably aren't going to watch for much longer, right? They're going to be like, okay, dude, calm it down with the frickin' horns, but anyway, so that's one of those things that, and I still see it today. Why are you, and and I'm gonna stick with the train sim theme, right? British Ace Joe, he loves trains, does a lot of train simming stuff, and if he and there's people in his stream that have a deep, I'm going to say it just like this, they have a deep hatred for American routes, especially American freight. They loathe it. They lose their minds if Joe goes on an American freight route and shows it on his channel. There's people that go in that chat and lose their minds over it. They go off the deep end. Why aren't you doing another, why aren't you on, or even in some cases their other favorite one to hate is the German routes. Why are you on a German route? Why are they releasing another German route? Oh my God. Okay, are you forced to buy it? No. Then what's the problem? There's people who love German routes. I love all the, on Train Sim World 2, 3, I love all the routes. I don't go like, oh, I'm only going to drive American routes. No, I want to experience everything. But there are people who have this deep hatred of German and American routes. And I'm sorry, but it's generally the people in the UK who have that hatred. I don't know what it is, but they cannot. Oh, another German route. Oh, American freight. Oh my God, what are they thinking? They do. They have that. They cannot. They can't handle it. And so, oh, okay. All right. But yeah, it's sad that even somebody like a Lego content creator, showing off that that they're working on the city, and they're building an aquarium, or they're building a high-rise building, or something unique, and that people would come in and say, oh, what are you, crazy? How come you're not, why would you put that there? It's just insane. But I digress. Oh, the altimeter's changing quite a bit. All right, so at least now we're talking to Boston Center. Interesting. I don't know. Yeah, this probably is going to take a little bit longer than I expected it to. I looked at the wrong numbers when I was looking at the flight plan with the distances and when to start. Because we have 158 nautical miles to get to. So yeah, we're still, I got to get much closer before I descend to 3,000 feet. Got quite a bit of ways to go there. looks like the from this direction. Yeah, see, you can see the rudder is automatically, there's a bit of a notch right there, right? It almost looks like the rudder is to the left a little bit. I wonder if I can get close enough and find it. Let's try that. I just noticed that. I just want to see if... Yeah, it looks like there's just a slight... Oops. Yeah, look at that. You can kind of see it. Oh, maybe it's just the design of the tail. It looks like there's a bit of a trim to the left. Yeah, oop. No, it's straight on. But, well, it's interesting because there's like this... Oh, it looks like there's a... Oh, maybe there's a trim tab that's... Yeah, look at that. There's a trim tab that's too flexed to the right. Okay. That's what it is. That might be the trim tab right there for the rudder. Keeping us pointing in the right direction for the following the navigation GPS. Interesting. I've never noticed that before. Yep, look at that. Very interesting. Boy, it'd be nice if that crosswind turned into a tailwind. Oh well. Well, I guess we had kind of like a story time. I was going to do story time, Joseph. But I don't know that it would make any difference, huh? What do you think? You're still here, Joseph. What do you think? Should we have story time or not? We got time. I'm going to ask Joseph. Joseph, it's up to you. Story time or no? I'll give you a. This might motivate you one way or the other, Joseph. There's a tool shed involved. Do you want to hear the story or no? I'm going to give you 1 minute to make a decision, Joseph, if you're here. If not, we're not going to have story time. $40 seconds. I'll give you maybe another motivator. It's quite embarrassing in a way. Time is running out, Joseph. Three, two, one. Boy, no answer from Joseph. Boy, I offer him story time and he's not even can't be bothered to answer. What do you think, Mick? All right, let's put a vote to Mick. Mick, do you want to hear story time? Tool shed involved and all that embarrassing story. What do you think, Mick? If you're still here. Always worth the story. All right. All right, here it goes. I call this story the tool shed story. Okay. Now I'm going to give you the very some particulars that we're going to get the gist of the story without going too far into details. Okay. Point one of the story. Christmas party that my mom, and I think I've talked about this before. My mom would always throw these Christmas parties, invite people over from work. That's one of the big things that I remember from growing up. Now, this particular Christmas party I was an adult. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not going to say my age, but I was an adult. Bucket list was one of the things on my bucket list was to have an encounter, for lack of a better term, with somebody from the Christmas party. Now, doesn't necessarily mean it had to happen at the Christmas party, but if I, hooked up, that sort of thing, right? So I was working that day, and so I brought a change of clothes with me. My mom and stepdad had been married, I think, about a year or so at that point, and so my mom was like, she got my stepdad to agree to, hosting a Christmas party at their house. And so when I arrived, there was a young lady who, most everybody that my mom would invite was all people that I've known for most of my life, right? There's very few people that I knew. But this one young lady, I think the party had been going on for about 2 hours by the time I arrived. Because I had to wait till I got off work and then, get there and change clothes and all that. So I see this young lady, attractive, but a little bit of a red flag, but I ignored it. She was already inebriated. Quite, not like this sloshy drunk, but just, you could tell she'd already been drinking since she got to the party. And I suspect, years later, I kind of suspected maybe she had been drinking prior to arriving at the party, right? So anyway, I went to one of the spare bedrooms, changed my clothes, because I was a security guard, so I had my security guard uniform on. And I brought a change of clothes with me just to be comfortable, because I wasn't going to sit there in my security guard uniform and try to talk to people. I would have felt like a complete idiot. Anyway, so this young lady, once I changed my clothes, I noticed that she is getting very friendly, very touchy-feely with other guys who are coming to the party, even if they are with their wives. Okay, that part of where this is going to go, right? So she's already, for lack of a better term, copping a feel, right? So, me in my mind, I'm thinking, well, this is not going to end well. Somebody's going to get in trouble. There may be a physical altercation of some kind at some point. So I decided, I took it upon myself to, what do you call it? Try to take her attention away from other people, right? We invariably ended up out in the back of the house. My stepdad's house was very nice, where they lived in Hayward. He had a pool in the backyard, a nice patio area and all that. So we were out there talking, and one thing leads to another. We end up in the tool shed, basically. Now, it was like a little storage shed that my stepdad had for the stuff for the pool, like the inflatable floaty rings that you could sit in and just kind of lounge around in the pool and stuff like that. And so we conduct our business in the tool shed, and then we, you know, invariably what happens is I say, let's get back in the house, because what I didn't want to have happen is that the search party comes out, right? Where did Rob and this young lady go? What's going on? Well, so we go back inside the house, and she wants to use the restroom, so we are in the master bedroom bathroom, right? And so I say, you know what? I'm gonna go get you a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. So I go into the kitchen area, pour her a cup of coffee, go back to the bathroom. Other events ensue in the bathroom, right? Then this is where things went off the rails, right? This is the embarrassing part. The young lady decides to get completely naked and crawl into my mom and stepdad's bed. Now, this is the part where things kind of went off the rails. I didn't have eyes on the door into the bedroom. The door was closed to the bedroom. I didn't have visual reference on the door. What I think happened was the following. One, because now the other thing I should mention is the coats of the guests of the party were in the master bedroom. I think somebody went to come and grab their coat, realized that I am talking to somebody and that they're in my mom and stepdad's bed. Because then, out of nowhere, my stepdad comes into the bedroom and says, she needs to get dressed and you both need to leave. Right? So I'm like, okay. So now I was trying to figure out a way. How was I hadn't come up with a plan to get her out of the bed and get her dressed before something like that happened. But hello, Mela. But it did. And so she got dressed. Now, there was no alternate way out of the house, right? There's no like side gate fence thing or whatever. It was, even if we wanted to go through the garage out, we had to still go through the house. So she gets her stuff, right? She gets her stuff together. And so I just grab her hand and I make a beeline for the front door. I don't make eye contact with anybody else that's still at the party. I don't stop and say anything. She didn't want to stop and say anything either, I don't think. So we just went. So I got her outside and we talked for a few more minutes, and then she went home. I went back into the party. What few people were still left. And I don't remember how many people it was that were still there, but everybody was looking at me, and I just kind of, it's like you shrug and go like, So I go into the kitchen, and Dave, my stepdad, says, I think you need to go speak to your mother. And I'm just like, I almost want to say, well, I really don't want to, but okay, I guess I have to. I go into the bedroom, and she's changing the sheets. She's convinced that something happened, but any reasonable person would, like if a stranger was naked in your bed, you would have changed the sheets too, right? And I didn't think about that at the time, and I wanted to tell her, like, Mom, nothing happened in the bed, but in theory it did, because this woman got naked and crawled into got under the covers. I think it wouldn't have been so bad if she had just stayed on top of the, the comforter or whatever. But she just, So I helped my mom change the sheets, because I was like, at least I can do that. But and so for years after that event, whenever there was a party, people would say, okay, Rob, like, what are you going to do this year, huh? I get a ribbing about it. But I never talked to this young lady again. And I don't know whatever happened to her. I don't know how. I got the sense, and I could be wrong, and I never asked my mom this, that my mom basically, you know, talked to her at work and said, "Don't talk to my son ever again." You know, don't. But I never had the heart to tell my mom that, Mom, you know, in all honesty, events took place elsewhere, not in the bedroom. They took place in the bathroom and in the tool shed. You know, but since they no longer own the house, and you know they lived there for many years, I just kind of let it go. But it was a bit of a, like, talk about a walk of shame, right? You know, I'm holding this young lady's hand, and we're walking straight through the house, and it's like trying to not look at anybody else in the meantime, and not like, I felt like if I'd made eye contact with anybody, that would have made it even feel even worse, right? But um, but I still got the looks when I came back in the house, and everybody's just like, dude. But I look at it in a couple ways, right? One, if I felt like if I hadn't done anything, there would have been a physical altercation of some kind, because once people started drinking more as the party went on, that if she started getting more touchy feely with the other guests, especially the other guys, that even if they were there with their wives, that there was going to be another incident altogether. If I could take that incident and bear that burden, so to speak, I guess you could say, then it was like, okay, it's what they call it. I took one for the team. That's what I call it. I took one for the team, and I was able to check something off the bucket list. Right now, all these years later, when I think about it, would I still have done the same thing? Yes, but I would have handled it much differently to avoid all around embarrassment. I know that my mom was probably a bit embarrassed that, you know, when word got around that there was some hanky panky at the party and I was involved, you know. But I still probably would have done it, but I just would have I would have never going, when I think about it now, I would have never allowed her. I would have steered her clear of the bed. We would have gone back into the party and just sat there and continued to talk, or we would have left. I would have gathered my things and left with her to avoid any more drama. So I tell that story because it's easy to, like, I bust myself on it, right? Because if my mom happens to bring it up, you know, if we're talking about something and then or my stepdad brought it up, I could deflate it and say, and you know, my defense still would be, but if I hadn't done these things, there would have been a whole nother incident altogether. That's what my I don't think my mom and stepdad ever realized that if I hadn't stepped in and distracted her, you know, steered her clear of the married guys, there would have been a whole nother incident altogether. So, but you know, people find themselves in embarrassing situations in life, and how we react to it, and um, and laugh about it much later. I still I think about it, right? If somebody says something about a tool shed, I'm like laughing inside, like uncontrollably, right? Because I don't I immediately go right back to that night, you know, because it is kind of funny in a way, if you think about it. But yeah, I've never really, only a few people in my life ever have heard that story, right? But I feel comfortable telling it because even if people are going to rib me about it, it 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 doesn't matter, because it was a long time ago, B, it's not somebody that I ever talk to again. And also, if you think about it in the larger context, it is kind of a cool story, right? Oh, now we're doing now the ads are playing. So it's not a, I'm not worried about somebody being malicious about it, right? Let me change the left now. You know, it's even if if somebody gives me grief about it next time I'm in a stream or whatever, I'm not gonna lose my mind over it and go like, oh, how dare you? No, it's just it's. Ooh, boy, that's a big change. Yeah, Turner. It's not that big of a deal, in all honesty. It's just like what I got when I that story I've told about being in Manhattan, Kansas, and the all those women saying that they, when I went to ask, say, can my friends and I join you here at the table, and they all answered no in unison. Well, my roommates, my buddies, they kind of had a laugh. We all laughed about it. I mean, it sucked at the time, but in all honesty, they had, them calling the local radio station and telling everybody what had happened isn't that big of a deal, because everybody laughed about it at some point, including myself. I can still laugh about it today. All right, 91 nautical miles, just under 90. We're getting a little bit closer. We're going to get a little bit closer before we start descending and prepare to land there in Plattsburgh. So yeah, it's not a even if the people that were there at Fort Riley, if the people that I knew at that point, if somebody contacted me, we talked about it and had a laugh and everything, it still wouldn't, I wouldn't get butthurt about it because, well, again, it would happen a long time ago. It is, in all honesty, it was kind of funny. I would have never expected that. If one person had said, no, we're having a private party, but thank you for asking, not just sitting down, right? But yeah, there's nothing, there's nothing to the to be ashamed of, right? I embrace it. Yeah, it's just one of those things in life that happens, and again, it's any of those stories can be funny. They're embarrassing, but they're funny in an embarrassing way. So there we go. That's the tool shed story. The end. How are you, Amela? How's your Wednesday morning going so far? You came into the chat kind of I wouldn't say mid story, but kind of mid story. See, aren't you glad you said yes, Mick? Now Mick's probably sitting there laughing his head off. Like, oh my God, Rob, I can't believe you just told that story. It's okay. I don't mind. I'm not embarrassed about the stuff that, I mean, I've had embarrassing moments in life, but they're not like ashamed of them. I'm okay. Yeah, just boy, this wet weather, the rain has done a number on my elbow with the On the scroll back up here, I think it says that was a roller coaster story. Yeah, but yeah, it is in a way. But I I think about that. Not I don't like dwell on it, right? Because that's not healthy. But when you think about it, and you're just like, again, I still would have done it, but I would have handled things way different. I know that for sure. Basically, what happened was my mom was hosting a Christmas party back when her and my stepdad lived in Hayward, when they were both still working for Alameda County, and I engaged in pleasurable activities with somebody at the party, and so I'll just leave it at that. That's a new one. Pleasurable activities. There we go. That's something new. Pleasurable activities. We're engaged. Yeah. A majority of which took place in a tool shed or a storage shed in the backyard of the house. So. See, one of the things I've learned over the years is you have to be comfortable. Well, you should try to be comfortable with talking about the embarrassing stuff that's happened in your life, because if people find out, oh wow, yeah, okay, and what am I supposed to do? Oh. We are nowhere near on final the land. What are you talking about? We're 77 nautical miles away. We're not on final approach. What are you talking about? That little hint, yeah. There you go. That's all. But it's okay to be. It's okay to talk about those things, because like when I was at my last duty station, people would always rib me about my age, right? It's, oh, you're so old. You were probably with General Washington when he crossed the river, right? The famous painting, him standing in the boat crossing the river. And I would say, yeah, I was there. What about it? Right? I would deflate their joke by going along with it. Oh, who knows, Novella? I don't know if there's no telling where he is. I don't know if somebody else is streaming. Maybe Joe's streaming or Jason's streaming. Who knows? Yeah, he might be napping. He was up late last night watching Bex and Nick on farming together, and he was trying to farm with them, and then he was also watching, not with them, but he was playing the game, and then also he was watching Glenn golf, and yeah, he might be overwhelmed. He was here earlier, and then yeah, there's no telling. Yeah, there's ways to deflate people having, kind of laughing at you, and but I like I said, I know part of it, even if I despite my efforts to acknowledge that, even I have had embarrassing moments in my life. That it doesn't bother me talking about it. All right, how much farther? All right, when we get a little bit closer, I want to get. Actually, you know what we could do? I don't know if it's going to allow me to descend. Nope, I'm going to have to descend on my own. I just kind of like. All right, somebody's in a jet, but they're in like in a 747. It looks like, or an A380. That's an A380. I'm guessing that must be Chronico. That'd be my guess. Chronico must be in a fighter jet of some kind. I just joked about it. I just said, yeah, I was with General Washington. And people would look at me like, really? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, that's got to be Chronico. Hello, Chronico, how are you? Get a little bit closer. Yeah, I just, well, it was the only way to kind of defeat the, defeat it, right? Because they would be, oh, you're so old. I just embraced it, Yeah, I'm old. What about it? There's ways to deflate people so that they can't be, like it takes away their their attempt to be mean, right? Well, see, if Chronicle is a little bit farther away, I could probably see what the plane is supposed to be flying in. I'm positive it's Chronicle. Certain of it. He likes to pop in and surprise me sometimes with fly formation. I don't know how you're doing at Chronico. I'm maintaining about 100 true air speed, 157 knots. Well, yeah, well, it is. I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, in theory, I should be, but I'm not. There's no reason to be. At least in my mind, there's no reason to be embarrassed about it. It happens. It happened. And in a way, I know it's going to sound crazy. I'm glad it happened because, it was bound to happen, right? That's the thing. It was bound to happen. Yep, there's Cap. Oh, it's Cappy Stick, not Chronicle. Cappy Stick. I don't know why I thought Chronicle. Cappy Stick is the formation flyer. Sorry, Captain Stick. I misnamed you. I didn't mean to. Sorry about that. Captain Stick is in a. I don't know if I can see the name of the. That looks like an A380. I think it is. If not, well, maybe it is. I don't know. It looks like one. It says 747-8. Well, that's some weird. It doesn't look like a 747 though. Oops. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to... All right, and let's get off the throttle just a bit there. All right, we're going to start descending there, Cappy Stick, sorry. Get ready to line up there. Oh, he disappeared. Where'd he go? Cappy Stick, no! Oh! Oh, it's the default. Yeah, it didn't look like a 747. How are you, Cappy Stick? Nice to see you. I don't know why I should have done that. I apologize. All right. Yeah, that's weird. Hold on. I had a crispy chicken sandwich and fries and a drink from McDonald's last night for dinner. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. And then we'll get ready to land here in just a moment. Give me just a moment. I gotta get up for just a bit and stretch and... Maybe is it? Maybe so. But I would have thought even if it was generic, it would show like an actual... I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Oh, we were still gaining speed, and I thought I slowed my aircraft or throttled back enough, but apparently not. A little bit of bump there as we're coming through the clouds. Altimeter again. For this size airport, I'm surprised though. Like why is it not towered? That's what I don't get. For an international airport, I would expect it to be towered. All right, here comes the ice again on the windows. I think where that A320 is, that should be our airport. Oh boy, we may have descended a little too quickly too. I may have gone too far, too quick, as far as the altitude goes. Yeah. Yikes. No. Okay. Went to LaGuardia yesterday. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's like JFK. I mean, if you look at the airport from the air, it doesn't seem like it's much, but if you go there in person, it's almost like its own little city. You know. Right, we're almost leveling off here. I think we should be okay. I'm a bit surprised. Boy, we are going to get bumped around here coming through these mountains. Let's get some flaps down. Boy, this is... I go to 4,000 feet. Just to have a little bit more altitude between me and the ground. And I think we're going to get the flaps back, so we're not quite there yet. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how big that some of these airports are in real life. Let's just go to 5,000. I've never flown into this airport, you know, in the sim, so I didn't know what to really expect. Yeah, right. I got a little too careless with the altitude. Boy, look at that. It just ices up. Goodness gracious. All right, we're almost there. Well, see, I'm going to have to get on the other side of these hills, and then we're going to have to drop back down to 3. Actually, I'm just going to dial in to 2,200, I think. All right. I'm going to have to kind of get us set for landing here, folks. So I apologize. I'm going to have to ignore the chat here, because this is going to be a much tougher landing than I expected. We're gonna get all right, now I think I can drop some flaps. Because we're gonna, once we're over a, looks like there's a lake or something that we gotta, yeah. Yeah, there's a body of water ahead there. I think we got to get there first. But we'll drop our altitude again here in a moment. Boy, I don't like this icing up of the windows. Like it just, even though I don't have icing on, I don't quite understand why it does that. All right, so looking at our, so it looks like what we're going to do is we're going to get here and we're going to kind of do a right-hand turn to line up. So that'll allow us time to get down to 2,200 feet. I'll drop more altitude here. Okay, now I feel comfortable doing the getting to 3,000. Goodness gracious, I cannot see anything. I mean, I can, kind of, but it's like... (17°F). Ooh, it is cold here in Plattsburgh. I guess, yeah, we won't fly in the Mach loop today. I thought this was going to be a much faster trip, but apparently the timing, the time frame that it gave was not correct. It's a much longer flight than it says it. I'm really worried about this little bit of an outcrop ahead, but it seems like I have to worry about it, but maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, Plattsburgh International's got to be right about there, where that A320 is. It's got a pretty decent size airstrip, so an A320 should be able to take off and land there like no big deal. Thank you all for coming in and hanging out today. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's flight. Hopefully you've enjoyed the roller coaster story, or the not the roller coaster, the tool shed story, as I call it. We'll be back Friday in the DC-6, San Francisco to LAX. See how we get on with that. Just get over this little hill here. Oops. There's Cappy sticking an A320. .24 degrees Fahrenheit here in Plattsburgh, according to the numbers there. It's the outside air temperature, I believe. All right, so we're going to do the loop around and then line up, but we should be all set now. We're at the appropriate altitude for final approach. There's nothing really in our way that we can't stay at 2200 all the way in. So once we loop around here, head towards the airport, we'll drop the landing gear and see. Can we Yep, there's the runway right there. See it? See, do we actually do the loop around? Yes, we are. Okay. There we are. Nice little tight right-hand turn. Oh, it puts you into a hold pattern at first. All right. We should straighten out here, and it should bring us. We should go all the way back in, or hoping. Alert. Does it say? VNav unavailable unsupported leg. Alright, once we get past Cap New again, let's see if our should change over. If it circles us around again, I'll just disengage the autopilot and we'll fly to itself. All right, there we go. All right. All right, folks, we'll be on the ground in just a moment. Boy, it is really bumpy here. little bit of a crosswind. Our path in did not show up. It probably won't show up until it'll just show up all of a sudden. Crew, prepare for landing. Little bump. On behalf of myself and entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Plattsburgh, New York. Local time is 9:01 in the morning. We understand and appreciate the fact that it is Wednesday and everybody's working for the weekend. We greatly appreciate you flying with us today. Be back on Friday, DC-6. Non-stop service from San Francisco International to LAX. So join us for that. All right, let's get our. Let them know we are off the runway. Oops, wrong one. All right, we'll go find a parking spot. Anybody see a ground crew around here? I don't know, Mav. That big really freaked him out. Thank you again, Cappy Stick, for popping in and flying formation, even if we didn't have the correct aircraft showing. I'm just thinking we'll find a parking spot around here somewhere. This looks like a good place to end things. All right. And 1, 2. Hour 48. Not too bad. Seems like it was a little bit longer than that, but yeah, not too shabby at all. Quite enjoyed that. So, all right. Well, that will do it for today, folks. Thank you all again for coming in and hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was fun. Hopefully it was embarrassing for me. It's okay. It's all good. Stuff happens. Bye-bye, Mela. Boy, I can't even say my proper goodbye. Mela's ready to go. Anyway, we'll be back Friday, 6:45 Eastern, 11:45 UK, 10:45 UTC in the DC-6, San Francisco to LAX. So do join us for that if you would like to. Do enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, morning, afternoon, evening, early Thursday for some folks around the world. I have been and always shall be your host and pilot until Friday. Peace. Live long and prosper.